How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is Mario Matthews, owner and operator of MinutesTillDawn Productions, and today we are going to talk about the after um, thoughts of the Democratic National Convention 2020. But before we get into that, I'd like to announce that, family, right now we have the GoFundMe campaign going for our new book, Hurricane America. Hurricane America is a nonfiction novel based on the true events of Hurricane Katrina 2005 in New Orleans, Louisiana, as experienced by myself and my grandmother. It will be telling the before, during, and after events and conditions that culminated into the event, the disaster that was Hurricane Katrina. So you can go to the GoFundMe link in the description below in order to donate whatever you can. And yeah, thank you for all the love and support. Really appreciate it, family. Thank you. Also, please like, please share, please subscribe to this channel, and let's get it started. So, the Democratic National Convention, as of the publishing of this video, has officially ended. And Joe Biden has been formally nominated as the Democratic candidate for the presidential election 2020. Okay. Now, there is obviously, a lot of little things you could talk about. You could make whole videos about, a lot of stuff happened. Michelle Obama's speech, um, um, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, her little rebellious, actions of nominating Joe Biden, or not Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders rather. Let's see what else. What else? The jeez, the use of black kids and black people, still guiding us as POC, even though we're getting most of the brunt of the violence, you know. In this video, we're going to talk about one thing and one thing only, and that is the stance, oh, excuse me, that is the stance of reparations, specifically to American descendants of slavery, black American descendants of slavery. And if you watch any of the highlights, or if you watch any of the convention itself, you'll notice that there was a void left in that topic. Nobody mentioned reparations, and everyone essentially rallied around voting for Joe Biden because we got to get Trump out. Okay? Now, there comes a time, in life where you have to exercise, or at least utter, the words that ring in a person's mind for as long as possible when they want something so dear and so true to their hearts that they just can't get the word out of their mind. And that word is no. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, for all intents and purposes, black American descendants of slavery have been voicing their concerns, have been voicing their demands for political policy and change. And unfortunately, things have been falling on deaf ears for so long that now our elected officials can think that they can just scoot on by without addressing any demand we have whatsoever. The voters have become the captive. And quite honestly, it might have always been that way, but not this time, okay? This time, black Americans, descendants of slavery, have decided that their political strategy will continue to be down ballot voting, down ballot Democratic voting, okay? Meaning that when you show up to the polls, you vote. You vote for everything that is consequential to your immediate communal conditions. Okay, you vote for your initiatives. You vote for tax laws. You vote for things that affect your immediate surrounding and your community, the community in which you identify with the most. You vote for those things that will obviously benefit you and your community. However, before we continue, but that also includes people, okay? That also includes elected officials that have gone on the record to state their position within any capacity that they seek office for. If they state their position that is advantageous to you and your community, via their policy, okay, then if you deem those people worthy of a vote, you give them a vote, okay? However, when it comes to that specific topic of policy positions or lack thereof, if any of those those politicians who seek office within any given position that they're trying to get in, if they seek office and they do not have any policy positions that will benefit your community and the conditions surrounding your immediate concerns as a community, then for all intents and purposes, they do not represent you. Therefore, you do not vote for them. It is what it is. It's pretty straightforward. This is a democratic republic, okay? Elected officials are supposed to represent and work on behalf of their constituents. If you have no elected representatives in office on you and your community's behalf, for all intents and purposes, they do not represent you. Therefore, there's the fundamental question: do you vote for them? Now, a lot of people would say, "Oh, why would you do that? You just putting Trump in. You just throwing your vote away and you putting Trump in the office." Hey, Tone Talks already, and I'll leave a link to his video. Tone Talks already, he already voiced the concerns of voting patterns within this country, especially when it comes to the national elections. If y'all want to shout somebody down as far as who put Trump in office and who's going to continue to put Trump in office, y'all better go holler at white women and men, okay? White people, the people that you eat dinner with, your uncle, your aunt, your grandma, your grandpappy, all those people who you have in your family. If you ain't having the conversations with them about voting for Trump, about voting for Republicans in any form or capacity, then don't come at me with that you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna curse, but don't come at me with that BS, okay? All right? Go after the people who's actually gonna be voting for Trump. How about that? But alas, our interest, black people that are American descendants of slavery, our interests are clearly defined at ADOS101.com. And I'll be leaving a link to that website so you can actually read and learn about our interest. is clearly defined, yet they fall on deaf ears. So, with that being said, this November will be critical. Okay? This will be a critical time in our nation history. It is time that we've taken the mantle of adulthood. Okay? When we show up to vote, Black American descendants of slavery, since our demand, since our death, since reparation is not a policy position that is upheld favorably by the Democratic National Convention and their frontrunner, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, or Kamala, whatever. When we show up to the polls, we vote down ballot, okay? Any and all politicians that do not have our policy position in mind in a favorable turn of events, then in which case, you don't vote for them. I don't care if they're Democrat, I don't care if they're Republican, I don't care if they're independent, Green Party, whatsoever. If they do not have our policy position as a part of their political platform, then they are not our representatives and they do not deserve or will get a vote from me and from other people in my community. Instead, what you're going to get is ADOS. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. When you're at the polls, instead of voting for a representative, if you are allowed to, write in ADOS or ADOS101.com. It is time to make it known that we have become political, we have reached the pinnacle of political maturity. Okay? This ain't a game. Y'all playing with people's lives. There are people out here dying and starving in the streets. And for hundreds of years, we have undertaken the brunt of racism, white supremacy at our expense. Every other group has benefited. It is time to pay the debt. The United States government owes a debt to those who have built the United States. You cannot throw us away like we are rag dolls. This is not up for debate. This is not an argument. For all intents and purposes, this is an ultimatum. There is a revolt in the slave quarters. Either you pay the debt or we ain't got nothing to talk about. It's that simple. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we have decided to continue with our strategy to down ballot voting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mario Matthews, owner and operator of MinutesTillDawn Productions, and this is the end of the video. Thank you very much for all of the love, all the support. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and we're out of here, family. Thank you. Have a good night.